You're listening to Empire of Rust, the first and greatest Transformers RPG podcast. Join the heroes of Cybertron as the last vestiges of Starscream's war take them to the far-flung colonies to defend the planet from distant threats and protect the Cybertronian Republic from the shadow of the Harmonium.
Welcome back to Empire of Rust, the first and greatest Transformers RPG podcast. This is episode 136, and I nearly messed up the intro again. Just like last time.
You're thinking about it.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, what's the next part of the line? What's the next part of the line?
Don't worry, Mike. It's not like we did this 136 times.
Even more, because there's a bunch of two-parters in there. We easily have like 150 episodes just of Empire of Rust, and more if we include the Rustford files.
Oh, yeah, true. But who includes those?
That is... Aww. We love you, Matt.
Thank you.
Shells and trees.
Speaking of lots of episodes with Transformers in them, Adam, you have added some Transformers to your Starfinder game, haven't you?
Yes, I have. What can I say? I can't get enough of these little crazy bots.
Nice.
I actually, for my other Starfinder game, a while back, like almost in the first few episodes that they were playing in, the first few sessions, they came across the pieces of a tank. Now, in the game, I was just teaching them how to build a vehicle using the vehicle construction rules in Starfinder,
Sure.
which was kind of cool and fun. They decided that they wanted to build a tank, so I just had the parts all there, and they put it together. But they had some leftover parts, and they decided not to put them in because it took up a lot of internal room, and they wanted to make it into a sort of like a troop carrier. So it would be a tank and protect them, but also had enough room for all of them to ride inside so no one would have to be on top. You know? Later on, I decided those extra parts had a purpose, and they didn't know what it was, so they didn't put them in. But they kept the parts for spare parts, just in case. Now, as the time progressed, they encountered someone who was a nanocyte who used nanobots to create items and tools and things of that sort. And they could do different stuff. And they came in contact with the tank, which had a whole bunch of extra electronic connections within, and they could make heads or tails of it. Now, eventually, the nanobots had started to repair the inner workings of the tank. And the tank started to become self-aware, i.e., it was a slumbering transformer that had been in pieces for eons. And they had unknowingly assembled it. Now, the mechanic of the group had figured out that it was a sentient being, basically a big android, and it helped to reinstall the parts. So the last couple of adventures they've gone on, this vehicle of theirs has transformed and helped them out in battles. Now, way back when they first discovered the tank, the ship that they discovered it in had sent up an antenna and was sending out a signal. They never learned what the signal was for. And this was like years ago for our playing. But it's also been years in game. And now, come last session, the Transformers that were hunting down this tank had learned where it is from that signal and had been traveling all this time. So finally they track it down. So last session they did a battle versus the Combaticons. And
Oh, neat.
I had them all in there. They did not, however, combine because they ended up they put up a really good fight, and the tank, which they nicknamed Tugboat, was a clone of Brawl, the tank.
Yep. Makes sense.
So it was a clone, and they didn't know that either. But, you know, during the fight, they came across him and they said, "Hey, you got some adamantine covering on your armor. That's not very clone-like of you." And they basically were there to hunt down their clones, that one being the last of their clones that they wanted to get rid of and go on their merry way. The group did defeat them. They did take a lot of hits. I almost put one of them down, and the combaticons got away. So I am able to use them again later, and I'm looking forward to using the combiner and making a Brutalicus, I think it is.
Bruticus. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Does one of your players control the tugboat, or is just a vehicle?
I have it open, so if anyone wants to play in Central Mass area, we do once a month. You can come down and play tugboat, a transformer amongst Starfinders. But during the combat, I just gave them the stats for both the tank mode, which they already had as a vehicle, and the robot form, which I had all the stats laid out for them. Basically, a carbon copy of Brutus, or no, Brawl. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so they just passed that around. Like each turn, one of them got to control tugboat. And they had a blast. I had like really huge miniatures, like all my dragons I was using as stand-ins for the giant robots.
Nice.
And
you need to make a trip to the toy store and grab a couple of Transformers to use as minis.
That was a bit much for a one night thing. I'm not a collector. I did not want to grab a collection of bots just for a one night thing.
No, it's really cool though. Are you using the same rules for the game that we're doing here for Empire of Rust, or do you make up your own stats for it? Or?
I'm using the Empire of Rust rules pretty much. I did lean heavily into the Starfinder classes though, instead of the Empire of Rust classes, just to make things more cohesive.
Sure. You don't want a bunch of players who are very familiar with Starfinder have to learn a completely new system in order to play one character. Right,
and I wanted everything to translate pretty easily. But they all had a blast. They loved the big scale of everything. They loved the mystery kind of unfolding during the battle. Like, who is this? Oh, you're here for a bounty? Wait, you guys put the bounty on him? Oh, wait, why are you trying to kill him? He's a clone? What's going on?
Oh, dear. Clones ahoy!
But yeah, that's especially with human characters. The scale of Transformers really looks like amazing. Just in terms of like table presence, it works really, really well. And I think it's something that we don't really see much with our game because we're playing all Transformers. So,
right,
when you're all giant metal machines, then you all kind of look the same, right?
Yep. Relatively, we're all just beings.
So we finished up round 3 on the last session, and I think this one is going to be the last round because you only have one more person that you need to talk to until the encounter ends, but you guys can take your time if you want and talk to a bunch of people before that. Again, Seraphim 7's the only one you haven't talked to yet, but there's 4 of you, there's only 1 of her, so you have an option to chat some other people up, maybe get some more information, maybe make it easier for Seraphim to talk with Seraphim 7, or just find out some more information to make your lives a little bit more interesting.
Well, I talked with her once, so that means you mean that someone else has to talk to her once.
Yep, she needs 1 more.
Everybody all at once. rapid fire questions.
oh, is this an interrogation? Oh, what's going on?
No, it's not an interrogation. I mean, we just want to ask you some questions. Maybe we'll answer them too. You never know. You like the color red, you like the color blue? Which one do you like? I mean, there was a movie about the Matrix. Maybe you've seen it. I don't know if you take a red pill or a blue pill, but, there's always pills to be taken. Not that we need to take pills. I mean, we're mechanics, right? We're talking about organics up there. No one really does that kind of stuff except for the organics. But,
I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Well, there goes Carapace again. Off to kill something, probably. Who knows? Anyway, how you doing? That dress looks fantastic. Is that all right for you? Can you breathe in that?
All right. So anyway, that is Sweet Spot. So Cortex has 2 already. You guys took care of that last time. No problem. Archon Fraxis, you finished up with Mike on the end of last round on that one, so he's all set. Aris Silver had 2 from the first 2 sessions, and so yes, there is the last one that needs 1 more. So the other options you have are Vex, Ozarelix, Visizum, and Naoris. Vex is the headmaster of the colleges. Ozarelix is the chief of staff, effectively. Visizum is the tiebreaker, the next in line to be a member of the Quartet, and Naoris is the old bot, who might actually be the oldest one on the planet. Who knows? Let us jump into initiative. Don't forget, you can choose either diplomacy, intimidation, or culture. Diplomacy, intimidation, or culture.
And now the news.
Don't touch that dial.
All Harmonium news, all the time. This just in, Carapace just killed something.
This just in, squeaky wheel gets greased.
24-hour news network that you need just for that. You know?
That's what they have, a dedicated bar on the bottom that moves across. Like, there's the stock market, and then there's things Carapace killed in the last 5 minutes.
The kill count, yeah.
The Carapace market.
Yeah.
The Carapace meat market.
All right, let's start us off here. Matt, what'd you get?
38.
I have a 23 culture.
I am appalled at my own inner workings here. Got a 24 on diplomacy.
Oof. This just in, Ambassador Sweet Spot's bringing up the rear. And Mike, what'd you get?
20 on diplomacy.
20 on the Diplo. So the order is going to be Magnum, Sweet Spot, Carapace, and Spindrift. So don't forget, Magnum, you already spoke with Sarah, so you cannot speak with her, but you have a couple of other options to choose from. As soon as you extricate yourself from the pile of Sweet Spot, Carapace, and Prime Arbiter Cortex, that is.
Just off the record, you guys have any ideas who you're going to go to?
I'm going to Vex.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alrighty.
Is there anyone? There's no one that hasn't been spoken to at least once, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Naoris had 1, Visizum had 1, Auxiliarex had 1.
Okay.
And Vex had 1.
We need someone to talk to Seraphim. That's not Magnum. So who else would like to talk to Seraphim? The Power Master one.
Not me. It's either Sweet Spot or you. Like, who's...
Okay.
Or both of you.
Oh, yeah, Borthy, yeah.
So I was thinking of waiting and going with someone else, depending on what everyone else did. But
Yeah. Well, we need one, so we need to figure out who's doing that. At least one of us. If Adam doesn't want to do it, I'll do it.
I'll go talk to Naoris, and you guys can think about it. How about that?
Okay.
I can't do it.
Right, yeah.
All right. I'll light another one up and
Okay.
trail of ash all the way over to Mr. Naoris.
That's an exceptionally long cigarette ash.
You notice that one of the servants comes up behind you and is like sweeping, and as soon as you turn around to notice, he's like, gone.
A very unobtrusive.
So he sees you coming over, and he stands to greet you. Hello, Representative Magnum, isn't it?
Yes. It is indeed. Or you can just call me Magnum, please.
You don't stand on formality. I can appreciate that.
No, feel free to have a seat. I think I might as well. My dogs are barking a bit, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
You have odd expressions from where you're from.
Not just from where he is at.
Sweet spot, go.
I'm away. The doom.
I just spoke with your companion Carapace.
Ah, yes, good fellow. Robust. Yes. Robust. You mentioned you might be a... Excuse me.
Wow, he's really committing to the character, isn't he?
Magnum, are you all right? Maybe you should put out the cigarettes. You seem to be doing things to your lungs.
Yeah, who would have thought that? Once I had lungs installed, that would be a problem.
Why would you do that?
So I can smoke, damn it.
You say, yeah, Mr. Carapace mentioned you. You seemed like an interesting fellow, so I figured I'd come over and say hi. You also seem like a fellow who knows probably more about what this place is like than anybody else.
Before we continue on this one, Magnum, I need you to make a perception check.
42.
You definitely got it. Pat, I think you had made this one when you were over there talking to him, but you just didn't get high enough to notice this. But Magnum, you did, partly because of who you are. Nioris is a headmaster. And I'll give this to you because you're familiar with the whole process. The fact that he is as old as Carapace is saying probably means that their personalities have completely merged. So even though they are two separate beings, like two physically separate beings, they likely don't have any difference in personality anymore, and they're effectively one being.
Oh, okay. So separating and having a chat is probably no point to that.
Like, hey, you remember the time? Yeah, I remember the time. I was there, damn it.
We keep finishing each other's sentences for the past 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, you would probably understand from other headmasters you've spoken to, as well as what you've done to yourself in order to become a headmaster. If you have a headmaster who has two separate beings, and they remain that way for a very long time, your mental processes will eventually just merge, and you'll become the same person. Now, if I remember right, you are a fairly young headmaster. It was what, probably a couple thousand years ago at most.
No, probably a lot less than that, actually.
Okay.
Young, yes. Handsome.
Neither of us are young bots, but as headmasters,
right? Exactly. So for you, you're still experiencing different personalities. For him, he's definitely not.
Okay, yeah, that's something I can understand to a degree, but generally, when you're talking to Magnum, you're dealing with two brains at once, not one.
Right. So what brings you over here to visit this old codger?
Don't say your feet. Don't say your feet. Don't say your feet.
That's all I want to say, sweet bud. There's a lot of stuffed shirts in here, and I figured I might like to meet someone who is a little more real. Do you think I've come to the right place?
Listen, I'm not the one to tell you who's the real bot or who's not over here. I just call it like I see it.
Well, sounds good to me.
I've lived a long time and seen a lot of things, so you be the judge of that.
I judge that very highly, frankly. In my own, if you can be so candid, what do you think about the civilization you live in now? You've seen it grow. Is it sustainable?
Well, of course it's sustainable. It's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. So, yeah, it is sustainable. Whether it's good or not, I can't be the one to say that. I live here, so you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just thinking, you've seen it change so much. Has it changed much recently, though?
Recently, no. I'll say that the history of this place happened far faster early in the civilization. I'm not going to go as far as to say stagnant, but it has not changed much in the last several thousand years. Once the Power Master system was perfected and the Energon distribution nodes were put up and running, it was just expansion and build out and go from there. If anything, the Great Machine kind of runs an autopilot nowadays.
Interesting. Yeah, it does seem that way. I don't know. I distrust anything that's the same for too long. Because it loses the ability to adapt to new situations.
Systems become very rigid, don't they?
Yes. Yeah. Like if I went over and played that,
I literally have a note that says rigidity is a weakness to have to talk about. So,
Really? It sounds like they're starting to talk about porn.
Right?
Metallicus Maximus at your service.
I mean, I'm trying not to top shot here, but we really want this to work on our side, and I'm trying to be as genuine with you as I can. What do you think What do you think would be the key between the two of our civilizations really getting together? Is there anything that could, any chance help your civilization maybe get moving again?
I don't know what your civilization is like, but if it's anything like the four of you, very different, very chaotic, then maybe that dose of chaos will shake the system up a bit, shake the Great Machine up so that it can take on something new. But who's to say?
Is he going to start singing Taylor Swift? Oh my gosh.
What?
Shake it up, shake it up.
Well, then have a drink with me. Maybe you can tell me something about yourself. I'm always interested to meet someone who has experience with things. It's sort of an open invitation. I'm trying to get him to relax and just talk about what he feels like talking about, because I'm not trying to question him here. So
Sure. Yeah, he'll have a drink with you. He'll kind of like sip it very, very slowly. It's like, this is the good stuff. We didn't have stuff like this when we landed here. When we landed, the energon here was dirty. It was corrosive.
Interesting. Wow. Progress has its benefits. Hey, you want a light? Want to try one of these?
What is that?
Well, you just have to reverse your ventilation system through your head just a little bit. And then you can do it. Like blow some smoke rings and stuff like that.
He takes it from you, he tries, but he's got no lungs. He can't do anything with it.
Oh, dear. Well,
And record.
hey, you can just hang out with that if you want. Sorry, I guess it's an acquired taste.
He just puts like in his mouth there, just kind of hanging on. It's just kind of glowing.
All right. Hey, it's good for me. Just trying to share my culture, man.
So what's your culture like? Is it like the four of you?
You mentioned it, yeah. We're all from different places. We just got thrown together and muddle our way best to doing the best we can for our home planet. That's really what it is. But there's a lot of independent thought. There's a lot of interesting creativity that comes out of it, too. That's what I would call it. Messy, but in rapid development, too. It's going to grow fast.
Do you have anything like the Great Machine on your world?
I guess you could call Primus the Great Machine, but Primus does what Primus wants. And, I meant Cybertron. Cybertron does what Cybertron wants. and we just sort of live there. But, I'd like to think we're all part of it, but we just sort of, we're all cogs, but we're not sure what machine we're in sometimes.
And yeah, he'll sit with you and he'll kind of reminisce. Yeah, he'll talk history a bit as well if you're interested.
Definitely.
He'll tell you the same thing, that he'll that he told Carapace as well how Starterra was damaged en route to their actual destination and had to land here. And but unless there's something specific that you want to ask him.
No, I really just want to sort of hang out, give him a chance to say things that he feels like talking about, and make a personal connection. And really, I do want to do a life science if I can, though. I want to know.
Go for it.
I mean, I know he's a headmaster already, but I want to know: is he really as sort of worn out as he appears?
Oh, interesting.
Because there's nothing saying they're not biological life forms. They don't. That's not the right one. They don't have to be all worn out necessarily, unless they don't care or that they're okay with it, you know. So, yeah, not great. Man, still low and low. That is going to be a 26. Hopefully not 200. It's a question though.
As you're observing him and kind of his joints and everything, you think that a lot of it is probably simply just some like wear and tear that he hasn't gotten fixed. And a lot of it too is cosmetic. You think that if there was something really physically wrong with him, he probably would have had it repaired. And as you're observing, you can see sections where like there are like newer joints, for example, but the outer covering is still scratched and cracked in places. So
he's not as feeble as he appears.
Right.
There's no reason why he would be.
Yeah, he's kept up on the major things. It's just the smaller, like the cosmetic stuff and the unimportant stuff he's kind of let go.
So if there was a fire, he could run out of here real fast. If I just see him jump up.
Yeah.
All right, so. I'm good. I'll just do a diplomacy because it's good old diplomacy. I'm not even lying this time. At least I think I'm not lying.
Why would we lie to ourselves?
All right. Woo. Wow. Where was that earlier? All right. I have a 41 for diplomacy.
They? Magnums? So I want to give you something else with it, but there's not really a whole lot else that he has to say. You know what? I'll give you this though. Maybe it'll help shed a little bit of light as to why on some of the civilizations here. As you're talking and chatting him up, he talks about what I had said earlier with the energon of the planet being kind of dirty and corrosive. And what happened is that after the ship's energon reserves ran out, they had to find a way of effectively cleaning it and making it usable for Cybertronians. And that's why the Power Master process was developed. So the Power Masters, like, it takes the raw energon, cleans it, filters it, and then lets it run through the systems more efficiently.
They're like clams.
Yes.
Cyber clams.
And he believes that over time, it became not a necessity anymore. As technology developed, they were able to create systems to clean it on their own. But now it's part of it is the people who were Power Masters started to view themselves as better than the rest. And then it became effectively like almost like a drug. Like they need it now in order to do it, but only the upper class has access to it. So it's an interesting system.
So the Power Masters are addicted to refined energon produced by their minicon?
They're Power Masters, yeah.
Oh my.
Interesting.
That's an incredibly dangerous thing to know.
Mm-hmm.
The spice must flow.
Wait, so they're addicted to the purified?
Any energon that runs through a Power Master would be like refined and purified. But they could run on any energon because the Power Master would clean it anyway. So they could take like the dirty shit and the Power Master would clean it for them. But they could also take normal energon, and that would also, do some cool stuff for them. But the thing is, like, the rarefied, purified version is they're just addicted to it now because they've been having it for so long.
Physiologically, they could function, though. They probably wouldn't be happy, though.
Yeah, it'd be like going through withdrawal for a while. Like, they would take
When is
time.
an addict ever happy to get off his stroke?
Oh, well, withdrawal. I mean, withdrawal is a little bit different than not having your favorite flavor of soda, you know. So, all right, yeah, okay.
So with a roll that high, I'm perfectly okay giving you that.
And now, I mean, but this is all individualized in the individual minicons, right?
What do you mean?
Like, this happens, they basically give the cons regular energon and it purifies whoever's wearing them. Is that it? Or do they have to produce it separately?
No, they can take any energon and purify it.
There's no central store of this stuff then.
Right. And you imagine too, just from the conversation, that the Harmonium, not just any naturally occurring energon on the planet is cleaned. So even if any of the dirty stuff is still there, it's just clean for normal consumption nowadays. And you saw all the solar panel generators, geothermal power and everything as you came into the city. So there are clean energon sources on the planet too.
But if they don't get this energon plus, like for some reason the filtrations don't work right on their Power Master attachments, they are going to go into withdrawal.
Correct.
All right, boys, we got something.
Okay, sweet spot. That means it is your turn. You're up on second move around 4.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be talking to anyone right now. I think I'm just going to kind of hang back and kind of wander around between the food and the general area of the entertainment, and I'm going to try to get a read of the room, because this might be our last chance to do so. So I'm going to be looking at the general population that's in the room, not the hoity-toities that we're trying to talk to, but pretty much everyone. See how everyone's taking our places, like how we're conducting ourselves, so to speak.
You're walking around Gen Pop?
Yeah. What do you want me to roll?
Why don't we do? Let's do perception.
That would be a 33.
So general vibe. You see that even though all of the other bots in here, and again, I said that there were delegates, there were guild masters, everything, lesser folks in the Harmonium's power structure, but still important. They're kind of hobnobbing with each other. They're talking and they're walking around, but you'll notice that you are kind of the talk of the town. As you're moving around, eyes always go to you guys. And yeah, it's just, you're drawing a lot of curiosity, a lot of stares, but you're not getting like the vibe of anything that's like dangerous. Like you're not seeing like hidden weapons or anything. You're not seeing anything like that. You feel that they might approach you like later on once you have spoken with the people in power.
Right.
Almost like they're waiting for that turn, kind of.
They know their place, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to look for anything dangerous. I was looking more for our political stance, how it's being taken by the general population here, and so like if any one of us was, say, about to grab the drink out of someone's hand, is there a bunch of people gasping, kind of a thing. I want to help out the next people with their role, basically.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's what I'm doing for my turn.
Carapace, that means it's your turn.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm pretty much just going to kind of turn around and bump this guy out of the way.
Hey.
Boom.
Oh, Jesus.
So who are the people? Who's the guy I just hip checked?
You don't know who he is? Persona never pointed anything out. Likely a minister or a guild master of some kind.
Okay. I'm curious as like who their arms dealers are.
Out of game, they're just tokens. That's all.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Cool.
no one important.
You're Vex, right?
Oh my! You are a big bot. He's like looking up at you. Yes, that is correct. I am Vex. I am the headmaster of the Harmonium's college system. Forgive me. I rarely have to. I rarely see a bot as large as yourself. I'm a little flustered right now.
That means you know stuff.
I like to believe I'm intelligent. Yes.
Okay.
Come on, you're not that. You're trying to drag your knuckles there, Carapace.
Hey, I want to see. I want to see if he can see me. I want to see if he can see me. Can you speak candidly, or are you one of these afraid to talk people?
Well, that is a very blunt and straight to the point question. If there's something that I know that I can answer for you, I certainly will. But as you can imagine, I'm not going to say anything that would betray the Harmonium, of course.
No, nothing along those lines. I have an appreciation for being genuine. And I find that at places like this, it's in short supply.
You are correct, my tall friend. Tell me, what can I help you with?
So, something occurred to me when I was talking to your bigwig. Are you what are they called? Power Master?
Power Master, that is correct. Guy gestures to the bot that's in his chest there.
Right. So, could they leave? Like, what's the name of your companion?
My companion's name is Shiva. And yes, they could leave. Like, I could eject Shiva. It is not polite to do so in a high society environment like this. And may I be candid with you?
Yes, please.
I feel like you're trying to get at a different question.
I have a lot of questions, but I'm actually curious about that one, mostly because the relationship that you bots have with each other is different, let's say, than the ones that I've been exposed to so far. And there seems to be a lot of, not subjugation, but something like subjugation. Like, I wonder if all of your companions were to come out, if they would speak differently.
That is interesting. I was speaking with your friend Spindrift just a short time ago.
Not my friend.
I apologize. I assumed
Definitely the wrong word to use there.
Yeah, that is not how that works.
my apologies. I simply had assumed, considering that you were all in the same party together. I will make a note. I was speaking with your companion, Spindrift. She had a similar mindset. I don't know how much you've spoken with her about what I said, but I had a meeting scheduled with the Quartet to discuss the inequality of the treatment of the power of the Micromasters in our greater society. And it took long years to lay the groundwork for it before I was able to get a meeting with them. Unfortunately, your arrival has complicated that, and I believe...
I could see that as being a dangerous belief in this. I don't want to say prison, but...
You don't mince words, my tall friend. And you are correct. It is certainly a radical belief. But I fully believe that all the bots in society should be treated with some measure of dignity and respect, and a small measure of equality. Now, I understand that the great machine still needs to turn. The role that the Micromasters play in our society is a necessary one, but in many respects, I do agree with you where they seem to be more subservient than they need to be. For they have thoughts and personalities and their own ambitions, just as bots of our size. That is what I wanted to bring to the attention of the Quartet.
I don't think that will be received well.
Any change takes a long time to make.
Oh, what is that phrase? Politics is the art of talking about something until it's no longer relevant.
Is that an expression from your world?
From a world.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
Might have to borrow it.
Well, if after this, I would actually, if you are willing, I would like to speak with Shiva. To not that I don't trust you, but I don't. So the veracity of your statement, needs to be verified.
Trust
verify. Yeah.
It seems
scientific
that
adage, no matter where we are.
it seems that some phrases are universal. Well, I cannot promise you a meeting. I cannot promise you anything just yet, but I will speak with Shiva. And
I can make sure that it happens. Don't worry.
I can speak with Shiva and see if she is amenable to it. And if so, then we may converse.
Okay. So, second, or I guess two more quick questions. Where is my Cronus?
No one in living memory knows exactly where he is. The mythology is that he is at the core of the planet, powering the great machine itself. But
and the Titan is also there.
I am not certain if the Titan is in the core of the planet, but it is in one of the lowest sublevels, very likely. There are some records as to where the Titan put down many, many thousands of years ago. But as far as I know, that it is trackable. Its location is known. It is not mythology, whereas the fact of my Cronus existing within the core of our planet, I believe, is a mythology.
We totally need to go to the core of this planet, guys. Just saying. I got another fucking meeting a Titan punch card to fill up, man. I got fucking.
Hey, count me in.
Yeah, I know. I figured you would. I'm like, you guys know what Taverin are? Well, if you don't, you probably don't want to know. Oh, actually, they would have a really good extension of that metaphor. Instead of important strings that pull on the thread, they have important cogs that turn many gears.
Very true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you're willing to share that information, I would very much like to meet another Titan.
So yeah, I can point you in the direction of one of our records vaults. You would have to get permission from the Quartet, I imagine, but it seems like you have their ear, so...
Do you know how to fight?
For my part, I am more scholar than warrior.
But you've had millions of years to experience. As in a general rule, are most people scholars, or can most people fight?
It is a mix.
Where do people fight?
The military caste are likely the ones who have the most experience with this. And yes, I guess if you're not in the military or in security, there's really no reason for you to fight. I may ask you the same question. You've been alive for millions of years. Are you a microbiologist?
Only in that it's been helpful for me to kill things.
In other words, we haven't found anything that will shrink us down so that we can fight stuff inside someone else's body.
Yeah. I've definitely dealt with chemical analysis. I can track things by using chemoreceptors in my alt form.
That is fascinating. Mm-hmm. You will have to show me that at some point.
Well, I'll show Shiva. How's that?
Touché, my friend.
You should tell him you can introduce Shiva to Pythagoras because he's interested in science. He's
yeah.
The only scientist in the group is beneath him or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd like Pythagoras. That's our guy's head over there.
He's our head scientist.
Yeah, quite literally. What is your specialty? Microbiology?
No, it is not microbiology. It is astrophysics.
Fascinating.
But my time, unfortunately, is mostly spent administering nowadays.
Yeah, why do they do that? I've never understood that.
Which tracks, because he is the head of the college system there. So,
yeah. Does your system partake in star lifting?
Star lifting? I'm not certain what that is.
It is the concept of harvesting the denser metals that are being made in the fusion reaction inside of the star, but you don't disrupt the planetary system because you inject an equal amount of hydrogen in order to keep fueling the fusion reaction. Fusion reaction.
Oh, I'm afraid we haven't. We've mined asteroids, captured rogue meteors, even a planetoid, a small dwarf planet that came into our system at one point many thousands of years ago. But that is a fascinating thing. We will have to start taking a look at that and seeing if it's a viable energy source.
Yeah. It's a big project, but it's, you guys, I say you're nothing if not ambitious.
All right, would you like to make a roll?
Sure. Let's go with...
Can I aid him with perception from noticing body language and such? And giving him a clue?
Yeah, sure, why not? What's for me?
I think culture might be
Culture's a good choice there.
appropriate. I'm not trying to intimidate this guy.
29.
Or are you?
I know, right? So that is an 11. So I have a 23.
All right. Yes, that is certainly enough on culture. I think you hit like the one of the good ones, one of the good skills on this one. And it's also better now because he's not as pissed off as you guys as he was at the beginning.
Thank you for alley-ooping me. That was great, whoever that was.
Spindrift, I think.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not.
So Shade throwing a Spindrift there.
Gotta remain consistent. What can I say? Okay, I think I've probably taken up enough of your time. I hope that you get your meeting.
As do I. And it was good to, but even if not, it's still good to have a conversation with you. Best of luck to you, Carapace. We'll be in touch.
And I'll walk away.
And Spindrift at the end of the round.
Yes.
You know I love you, Mike, right?
Oh, yeah.
I hate your fucking character, but I love you.
It. That was good. That's what I made Spindrift for. All right, well, I guess I have to talk to Seraphim then.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to go poorly.
I mean, can Spot jump in at this point? Help go to double time?
Double time what?
Talk to Seraphim?
You need my help for that?
Well,
I don't know if he needs your help. It does,
I don't need your help.
Nervous about it.
I'm not nervous about it. I just know it's not going to go well.
All right. I was hoping to help everyone. Sure. Absolutely. I would love to do that. That's what I live for.
I mean, don't if you guys want to. But you seem a little nervous, Mike.
I just don't think it's going to go well. That's all.
Do you have a thing against Seraphim or what?
We'll see. All right, so Spindrift will make her way to Seraphim 7.
Okay.
Who unfortunately has a terrible fear of spiders.
I'll see.
Or the number
I'll be an
7.
opportunity.
Or the number 7.
Now, the first thing you don't ask is, how is Seraphim 6?
Aww.
Why is 6 afraid of you?
Because 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9.
Such a dad joke.
Yep.
Hello. You must be Representative Spindrift, is that correct?
Yes, and you are Seraphim 7, correct?
Oh, please, call me Sarah.
Sarah?
Yes.
Oh, very well.
And I am correct, also known as Sweet Spot. Ambassador, Sweet Spot.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I hear this voice from Ambassador Sweetspot, but I don't actually see him.
Are you
Yes,
moving up to
you do.
here then?
Now you do.
Get him over here.
Oh, there you are. So yes, you must be Ambassador Sweetspot. You are the head of the Cybertronian delegation, am I correct?
I am taking upon the lead role, but I'm by no means the leader of these bots. Outside of this mission of peace.
That is very confusing. So tell me, how are you enjoying the soiree here? Is everything been to your expectations, been to your liking?
It's been quite interesting. We've spoken to several others here, and it's been very enlightening to hear your beliefs and such. So we are very thankful that you invited us here to do so.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It is our honor to welcome visitors from a foreign star. As you can imagine, we don't get many visitors to the system, and the few that we do get are either pirates or rogue ships that have gotten lost.
This is the first encounter with outsiders that wish to, work with you?
To ally with us, yes. From what I understand, your civilization is the first one that is advanced enough to potentially meet us on our level.
You hear that, Spindrift? We make the cut.
Absolutely.
Your ambassador, I said potentially.
Oh, come on now. You would not have gone through all of this trouble if we were just potentials, now would you? You see the value, you see the potential amongst us. You see where this is leading? Yes, I think you do.
Perhaps, Ambassador, perhaps.
She leans over to Spindrift.
Your ambassador is very forward, isn't he?
You have no idea. I'm as forward as I can possibly get. Every chance I get.
You're like leaning in as close as you can to her to make her comfortable.
And you thought this wasn't going to go well, Spindrift. Shame on you.
Do you mind if I ask what it is you do for the council?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would love to talk about my role here. My position is a divinely assigned role to select the individuals for Ascension to the Power Master cast. Bots who have shown themselves to be the highest quality and lifting our society up to new heights, enhancing the great machine, going above and beyond what is expected in their role. I have the privilege of choosing which of these bots are elevated to that cast. And once you are in the Power Master cast, so many more opportunities open themselves up to you. You may even become a member of the Quartet if you are well positioned and still work to elevate the great machine.
I see.
You don't have to sell me on that, sister. I have a great position. Pole position. Every time.
She leans over to you again, Spindrift.
Does that mean he's in a race?
He's always in a race. Or he thinks he is, at least. So what is the role of the Power Masters? What do they do? Well,
they run our entire society. They ensure that the great machine is moving and is constantly turning. Power Masters are the delegates to the different regions on the planets. They are guild masters. They are the bots that are in charge of everyone.
And you are the only one that selects the individuals to ascend to that role?
That is correct. I work with some bots within my department, but in the end, the entire point, I am the one who has the final say in whether or not a new Power Master is created.
How did you ascend to your role?
I was an administrator. I worked in the Hall of Records, keeping track of all of the Power Masters who exist at any one time, and we have a limited number of them at any one time. So there are there are stringent records kept as to who is and who isn't, and that's where I started. As I was born, I was chosen for the administrative cast, record keeping, and ensuring the correct movement of everything. Does your civilization have like a role like this? Is this unique to our culture?
That seems unique to your culture, at least as far as I know. I haven't come across any other cultures like that track certain castes of bots.
Well, let me try a more general question then. Do you have power masters in your society?
We do, but they are not elevated above others just because they are power masters.
Interesting.
They're brought to power through their accomplishments and their ability, what they can do for the populace, or for the roles that they are designated to.
The roles they are designated to. So you have roles that a bot is created for.
They might have been created for a particular role, but they are not so much as stuck in that role. If they believe they can do a better job doing some other role, they are allowed to give it a go. You never know. They might be great at the new position as opposed to the old one.
But what happens to the position that bot was supposed to fill, that they left?
There's always more than enough bots that can do the work, or just to make compensation for the deficit in work.
And she'll turn to you, Spindrift.
Then this is how your world works as well?
For the most part.
It's fascinating. How do you ensure that the right bot is in the right role if they weren't created for it?
We don't have any particular role or person to decide which bot needs to fill which role.
Then who decides?
The individual bot. It is their choice whether or not they wish to fulfill the role or try a different role.
Huh. Fascinating. Your culture is so very different than ours.
It is quite different, and it's been interesting to learn of these differences.
Would you like to ask some other things? Would you like to try and make a roll? How do you want to proceed?
Question for you, Mike.
I'll allow it.
The the bots that we saw that powered the buildings and such, those aren't power masters, correct?
Technically, they would be. They turned into engines. They just did not attach to a bot. They attached to the wall.
So they would be power masters.
Power master is kind of a catch-all term. Like there's the individual, like little small bot that goes in the chest is a power master. The overall bot the large bot that has one in their chest is also considered a power master. I mean, for this purpose, you can just call them micromasters if you want, just for clarity. But
the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
They serve the same role
as the micromaster.
Right.
Okay. I'm curious. Your power masters. They all have these smaller bots that pair with them. Is that correct?
That is correct. Just like your companion Magnum.
Would these smaller bots be revered as much as power masters because they are part of a power master?
If I understand your meaning correctly, whatever glory the power master achieves, it goes to both the host and the micromaster.
But individually, if they are not paired, there's no special preference or no, respect given to them, like high respect that you would as a joined power master?
That is correct. The elevation elevates both the host and the micromaster up from where they were to a higher state of being.
Sweet Spot, I want you to make a perception check while you are here, because you did say that you were going to be looking around over your turn.
This perception check that you're allowing me to take here is a 33.
You notice that one of the servants against the far wall, the one up to the right-hand side of the piano on the map, is looking at the three of you, like more so than like he's too far away to really be coming over to help you. Like if he was looking at Archon Fraxis, that would make sense, but he's kind of looking beyond and looking at you guys. So it seems a little strange that one is paying so much attention to you when you're so far away.
I will go to take a drink mockingly, and I'll use the glass as cover to kind of chat to Carapace. Carapace, there is a servant that is paying far too much attention to our little gathering right over here, and I think I might like you to keep an eye on that one for any possible security risks, if you would please.
Where was he again?
I'll point him out, or rather, I'll point him out digitally.
Okay, yep, I see him. I will keep that in mind. I will start lightly, moving across the room, making sure that, like, eventually that I'm in between the two of them.
And now that the hound is ready to pounce, I think it's time to scare the fox. I will look directly at that servant, and I'll just mouth the word, "I see you."
Okay.
And then go back to the conversation. Let's see if the rabbit runs.
Okay. Nothing's happening right now, so this one is going to be a bit of a tough one for you there, Mike. There is an option. There's actually one really good option I think you're actually going to be really, really great at for this one, but I don't know if you've really gotten the info that you need for it. So if you do want to ask one or two more questions, that's fine, or you can go ahead, make a guess, and do a roll.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'll just make a roll because I really don't know what else to ask at this point.
Sure thing.
I guess diplomacy or culture?
Which one?
Would either of those work?
Diplomacy is always going to work.
Okay.
Culture, I can't tell you on culture.
All right, yeah, diplomacy would be fine then.
I'm wondering, I don't know if I should stick an or in here. The combining feature is often covered by mysticism. I think at least we use that for alloy, don't we?
I think so. I thought, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
If memory serves.
I really don't know. I'll just roll diplomacy and be done with it.
Okay, fair enough.
I get nothing, sorry. 24.
Sweet Spot, did you say you were aiding?
Yes, I was. Straight up 30.
Nice. With this 30, I'd be 30.
30 gets you 30.
Good thing Sweet Spot gave you the aid because it was DC 25 diplomacy.
Ooh, wow.
That was so close. All right, and a success for Spindrift with Seraphim 7.
Wow.
Okay, so last one on this one here. You have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, which is enough to get to the highest tier. And I will tell you what you win next time.
Oh, come on. You bastard.
No parting gifts.
From the Secret Files of Teletran 1, Empire of Rust is written and GM'd by Michael Ordway. Detective Magnum and his partner Pythagoras are played by Matthew G. Ambassador Sweetspot, Councilman of Velocitron, is played by Adam H.U. The Decepticon Target Master, Wildstrike, and his partner Nyko are played by Mike M. And Carapace, the Beast Warrior of Primitive Eucharis, is played by Patrick Finn. Additional characters are played by Michael Ordway, Brandon Ouellette, and Charlotte Chapman. Outro narration by Derek Bixby. Empire of Rust is supported by the humans and networks of planet Earth, whose online networks provide access to libraries of sound effects and music such as Storyblocks, Zasplat, Blue Zone, Pixabay, Paper Yellow Music, and Dark Fantasy Studios. We are distributed by the Transmissions Podcast Network. Stay up to date with all the latest news and reviews in the world of the Transformers by going to transmissionspodcast.com or searching the Transmissions wherever you get podcasts. You can communicate with the heroes of Cybertron by joining us on the Transmissions Discord channel. There you can discuss episodes, talk to the cast, and download the rule set used in Empire of Rust. Teletran 1, signing off.